I didn't plan for it to happen. That's the first lie cheaters tell themselves, that it just happened. But the truth is, you always feel the moment the shift begins. The tiny cracks. The harmless glances. The skipped details. The way you start dressing a little different when you know someone else will notice. It started with loneliness. That's what I told myself. My husband was kind, so kind it hurt more. He wasn't abusive. He didn't cheat. He didn't scream or hit or belittle me. He just faded. We got too busy being responsible. Bills, jobs, silent dinners. And when he did look at me, it was always with tired eyes. Like I was his comfort, not his desire. Then came my coworker. He noticed when I cut my hair. Laughed at my jokes. Asked how I was sleeping. At first, it made me feel seen. Then wanted. Then guilty. But I didn't stop. It was supposed to be one night. One mistake. But mistakes multiply when you feel invisible. When you feel like no one would notice if you went missing except this one person, who isn't even yours. The guilt grew louder than the love. Every morning, I stared at my husband's back in bed and hated myself a little more. I flinched when he reached for me. I stopped cooking his favorite meals. I avoided his eyes when he talked about our future. Because I wasn't in it anymore. Not really. One night, after another dinner where we both just pushed food around, I sat at the edge of our bed and felt my heart trying to climb out of my chest. I have to tell you something, I whispered. He turned. Calm. Tired. So tired. I've been having an affair. It was the kind of silence that rearranges your body, like every organ inside me twisted and shrank. He didn't shout. He didn't cry. He stood up, looked me in the eye, and said, "Okay. I want you to pack your bags." I blinked. "Wait, that's it?" He nodded. "I'm not going to fight you for something you already gave away." And just like that, the floor beneath everything we built, the birthdays, the Sunday mornings, the quiet little rituals, cracked wide open. I thought I was ready for the fallout. I thought I deserved whatever came next. But what he did next, I never saw it coming. I used to think the worst kind of breakup was the screaming kind, the broken dishes, the slammed doors, the thunderous exits. But that night, I learned different. The worst kind is silence. He didn't ask me for details. He didn't scream. He didn't demand to know who it was, or how long it had gone on. He just stood up and walked to our closet. I heard the familiar rattle of the old gray suitcase. The one we used for vacations. For our honeymoon. He placed it on the bed. Unzipped it. And began to fold my clothes methodically, like he was packing up someone who had died. I begged him to talk. To yell. To ask me why. But he didn't. His hands just moved. I was lonely, I started. I didn't feel seen. I didn't know how to reach you anymore. He stopped folding and looked at me. His voice was steady, but it hit like a slap. "I'm not your excuse." Those 4 words gutted me more than any insult could have. Because they were true. He didn't raise his voice. But when he turned back to the clothes, I saw his shoulders shake just slightly. And when I reached for him, he moved away like my touch burned. He waited until I stepped toward the door before he wiped his tears, as if giving me the dignity of not seeing him break would somehow make it easier for both of us. It didn't. I left that night with one bag, one box, and a soul that felt like it had been scraped raw. No shouting. No drama. Just absence. But as I stepped into the hallway, something shifted in the bag. I paused, opened the side pouch, and found it. A white envelope with my name on it, in his handwriting. Inside it wasn't a letter of hate. It was something much worse. And reading it made me realize I hadn't just broken his heart. I had erased something we could never get back. It was folded neatly, like it had been waiting. No perfume. No drama. Just paper soaked in pain. I opened it slowly, sitting cross-legged on a borrowed mattress in my friend's spare room. The air was too still. Even the ceiling fan seemed to pause for what was coming. The handwriting was his. Sharp but clean. 3 full pages, no crossed-out words, no second guesses. Just truth. Unfiltered. He started with a memory. The first time I saw you, you were arguing with a professor. Your voice was loud but your hands were shaking. I thought, God, I want to know her. Then came stories I had forgotten. How he worked 2 jobs when I lost mine, so we wouldn't have to break the lease. How he practiced his proposal speech 3 times before taking me to the bookstore where we first met. How he kept all my voicemail rants saved because he liked the way my voice rose when I was passionate about something. He said he noticed me slipping away. I saw it in your eyes. You stopped reaching for me in your sleep. You laughed at jokes I didn't hear. I asked you what was wrong, but you always said nothing. And I wanted to believe that. God, I needed to believe that. He wrote about hope, how he waited for me to come back to us, without having to beg. But the part that wrecked me. You weren't just my wife. You were my best friend. And you didn't even say goodbye before leaving me in pieces. That line broke something in me. Because he was right. I didn't say goodbye, not really. I had emotionally checked out long before I physically stepped out. I wasn't just unfaithful. I was absent. But it was the final sentence that landed like a punch to the lungs. If you ever wonder what forgiveness looks like, it's this silence I've given you. That's when I knew. He hadn't left me out of hatred. He had left me with mercy. And somehow, that hurt more. I expected fireworks. Rage. Maybe even revenge. A slashed tire. A Facebook rant. Divorce papers served with ice-cold fury. But instead, he donated money to the local charity I used to volunteer for anonymously. I only found out because the coordinator called to thank me. He sent flowers to my mother on her birthday. Signed, "Thank you for raising her." He rehomed our dog to his sister. The one who always begged for playdates. The dog looked happy in the Instagram post. I cried like someone had died. Then, he blocked me. Not just on social media. He blocked me from his life. No angry texts. No "you ruined me" voice notes. Just silence. Clean. Surgical. He didn't want closure. He became it. And me? The man I cheated with? Gone. He ghosted after 2 weeks. Said I was too complicated, that I had too much emotional mess. That I was too heavy to carry. I was angry at first. Then I realized he was right. I tried to pretend I was strong. I even posted some fake happy selfies and brunch dates. But inside, I was unspooling. Because healing hurts more when the person you hurt chooses peace instead of pain. I heard from a mutual friend that my husband ex was going to therapy. He had started hiking. Reading again. Sleeping. He was healing. He was getting better. And I wasn't even part of the story anymore. 2 months later, I found myself outside our old apartment. I didn't even know why. Maybe I wanted to say sorry again. Maybe I wanted to beg. But when he walked past me, he didn't even blink. He didn't hate me. He just didn't see me anymore. And somehow, that was worse. It's been a year. No dramatic milestones. No redemption arc. Just silence. I live alone now. Small apartment. No framed photos. No background music. Just me and the hum of regret. I deleted all my social media. I stopped dating not because I can't, but because I don't know how to let someone close when I've already ruined the one person who truly loved me. Sometimes I see pictures of him. He's smiling again. Healthier. Fuller. He's surrounded by friends, real ones. And there's peace in his eyes that I don't recognize. And I'm proud of him. I really am. But I also want to scream into my pillow every night. Because I wish I had been worth the love he gave me. I wish I had noticed sooner. That I already had the kind of love people pray for. Not loud. Not dramatic. Not perfect. But real. The kind that wakes up at 2 a.m. to hold your hair when you're sick. That checks your tires before a long drive. That kisses your forehead mid-argument because we're not enemies. I thought I needed more. I thought I was settling. I thought I deserved someone louder. Wilder. Sexier. I thought wrong. Now I walk through life like a ghost in my own story. I go to work. I pay rent. I water a dying plant on my windowsill. And I let the silence talk to me when no one else does. Because regret. It doesn't scream. It whispers. It waits. It hums beside you when you fall asleep. It sits on your chest when you wake. I didn't lose him the night I cheated. I lost him the moment I believed I deserved more than someone who gave me his everything even when I gave him nothing in return.